Okay, so I have uploaded a couple draft versions of stuff to our class GitHub repository. Okay, and so if you want to follow along, you can, and what you'll have to do is you'll open up your terminal or whatever, and then you're going to type in git. If you have it configured kind of the way we've been talking about, you're going to do git fetch upstream. This is not going to work on my computer if I type this, okay? But you're going to type in git fetch upstream to kind of download or fetch the new commits that I have made to my repository on GitHub, okay? And after you type in git fetch upstream, this is again assuming that you have navigated to your current repository. You are then going to type in git merge, and into the current repository that you are logged into, you're going to do git merge upstream, indicating my GitHub, okay, and master to indicate the master branch on upstream, okay, and I'm hoping that should work. And that should bring the files into your local repository on your computer, okay? And then if you want, afterwards, after you have done git fetch upstream, git merge upstream master, and you want to push those to your repository on GitHub, you can do git push, okay? So once again, the commands are git fetch upstream, git merge upstream master, and git push, okay? And that will fetch my changes, merge them into your local repository, and then push them. Okay, are you experiencing issues?
Yeah. If it says fatal action does not appear in the Git repository.
Okay, so have you configured your upstream repository? So if you type in git remote -v, do you see, you should see origin, two for origin and 2 for upstream, okay?
Oh, I just see 2 for origin.
Okay, so you have not yet configured your upstream, okay? And so what you'll need to do is you'll need to do a git add upstream, and then you need my git, this address, whatever this is, okay? This long jumble, okay? Git at github.com/:smile. You know, you'll have to do that to configure your upstream thing. Okay. Working for most everyone else, though? We're good? Question?
It seems like
So git pull will pull your, you might be able to do git pull upstream, maybe. Is that what you tried?
git pull upstream.
Okay, git pull upstream master, you can do that, yeah. So a pull is a fetch and a merge. So normally you do a pull, you can type in git pull and git push, and that is going to do your own kind of the origin account. But you can do, but yes, you can do git pull upstream master directly. Okay. All right, and so so this is. I will try to upload draft versions of my notes, and then you can pull and follow along. Now, for now, I would recommend against making changes and committing them to your local repository. Or if you do make changes, save them as a, I don't know, make a copy and make changes to your a copy or something, okay? Because if we run into merge conflicts with notebooks, it's going to be a mess. And there's a few workarounds, but you know, if you want to add comments to my files, I would say just make a separate file, like copy it and make a separate file, and you can add your commentary and whatnot to it. And then when I kind of push my final updates, you can pull those, and then you'll end up having 2 files for today's lecture. Okay. the one like my final version plus your version where you've added your comments, okay? If you want to do that. Otherwise, if I make changes and commit them and you make changes and commit them to the same file, we're going to run into merge conflicts. And there are ways to resolve merge conflicts with Jupyter Notebooks, but it's messy and ugly. So you have a few choices. You can just kind of follow along, but then get rid of all of those changes when you fetch the final updates, or you can make a copy and make changes to the copy of the file. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to go ahead and fire up Jupyter Notebook. So on my computer, all I did was start Anaconda prompt on a Windows machine, or if you're on Mac, you'll just open the terminal and you're going to type in Jupyter space notebook. Okay, Jupyter spelled with a PY space notebook, and that should open up the web browser and open up this window. Okay, and I'm going to open up this notebook that says Jupyter and IPython basics. We've covered a lot of this on Wednesday already, but we'll go through it again. Okay, and again, my encouragement is as you go through this Jupyter notebook, try to minimize the times your hands leave the keyboard and go down to the trackpad. Okay, see if you can kind of do as much as you can while keeping your fingers on the keyboard. So we'll work through that. If we finish everything and we have time to start this notebook, then we can do that, and we'll adjust our content as necessary. Okay, so I've gone ahead and I've opened up Jupyter, okay? And we've already talked about how Jupyter has two modes, okay? And we can tell that we are in command mode because the color to the left of my bar is blue. And when I'm in command mode and it's blue, I can hit J and K to move up and down. And so I'm going to hit J and I'm going to move to the next cell. Okay. And then if I want to edit this cell, this is a Markdown cell. And if I want to edit it, I can hit Enter. And when I hit Enter, it changes into this. And now J and K no longer work as moving up and down. Okay, now I have to use the keyboard arrows to move up and down, which makes sense because I need to be able to type the letters J without it switching up on me. Okay, and because it's Markdown, I've indicated that these are headlines by using the hash marks. I've indicated that this is a bullet by using a little dash here, and so on and so forth. Okay, if I hit Escape, then it leaves it, we switch back to command mode, but it leaves it as the raw Markdown, okay? If I want Jupyter to render the Markdown into kind of output, I have to hit Control Enter or Command Enter on the Mac, okay? And that should render it, okay? If you want to add cells while you are in command mode, okay, you can type in B to add a cell below, or you can type in A to add a cell above. Okay, so B will add a cell below, A will add a cell above. Or if you're going to use the mouse, you can always use this plus button to insert a cell. But I think B for below, A for above. That's the way to go. Okay, to delete a cell, you have to hit D twice, okay? And this is just to kind of prevent accidentally deleting a cell just by tapping D, okay? So if you hit, you can say hello here or something like that. That's not gonna work. And then you can hit D twice to delete it. And if you wanna undo, I didn't put this in there. Maybe I will. Undo is Z. Okay. So DD will delete a cell, and Z will undo. Okay. And then if you want to cut, copy, and paste entire cells, you can do that. Okay. So you don't even have to hit Control C, you just hit the letter, okay? So you hit C, and then if I tap V, you can see that it has copied this entire cell. And I'm going to undo that, okay? So copy and paste. The only time you'll actually do like Command C and Command V rather than just the regular old C and V or X is if you're going to try to copy cells from one notebook to another notebook. But within one notebook, just use X, C, and V while you are in command mode. Okay, J and K to move up and down the cells, and then there's primarily almost all of your cells will be Markdown cells or code cells. There is such a thing as raw cells, and there's raw, and I think heading is just Markdown as well. I'm not entirely sure actually. I think that's a new thing. And then if you want to make a cell a Markdown cell, so if I hit B to add a cell below, by default it's going to be a code cell. And if I want it to be a Markdown cell, I hit M, and it becomes a Markdown cell. And if I want to switch it back to code, I hit Y, and it switches back to code. Okay. All right. So are we all good? I guess I'm doing this with the assumption that everybody installed Anaconda between Wednesday and today, and we're able to follow along. Okay, so DD to delete that. Okay. Just like before, so here's a bunch of Markdown, so you can have headings of different levels, and it kind of gives you a preview of what it might look like. Heading level 1, level 2, and then if you go up to, if you add 7 hash marks, so you can have up to 6 levels of headings. At the 7th, it just becomes normal text. Okay, so when I render that, this just becomes normal text. So heading level 1, level 2, level 3, 4, 5, and 6. Levels 5 and 6 look almost identical, so I don't know how many heading levels you need. Okay. I think we know most of our Markdown basics from working with R Markdown, right? So we know how to make headings, how to make bulleted lists, how to add equations, and if you want things to be literal, okay, like pre-formatted text, you can use the triple tilde, okay? Triple tilde says don't render this as Markdown, okay? Otherwise everything gets turned into Markdown, right? So to make something bold or to italicize, you use like double star, double asterisk, or single asterisk. But again, with triple tilde, it renders it exactly as you've typed it in. Okay, in case you want to like show how the code looks or something. Okay. Your basic commands will be to do Control Enter or Command Enter, and that will render the cell. If you do Shift Enter, this is probably what I end up using most of the time. Most of the time I use Shift Enter, and what that does is it renders the cell. Okay, it renders the cell and it moves to the next cell. Okay, and if you're at the end of the document and you hit Shift Enter, it's going to automatically insert a cell below, which is convenient. Okay, otherwise you're going to be doing Command Enter and then B to insert a new cell. But Shift Enter will automatically render the cell and move to the next one. And if you're at the end, it's going to insert a cell below. There's technically one more, and that's you can also do Alt Enter. On a Mac, is it Option Enter? I'm not sure. Okay, so here if I hit Alt Enter, it's going to render this cell and then insert a cell. Okay, so Shift and Command Enter or Control Enter renders the current cell and stays there. Shift Enter renders it and moves to the next one, and Alt Enter renders and inserts a new cell. And I think on Mac it's Option Enter. Is it Option Enter? Okay. So Alt Enter or Option Enter. Okay. So if you do that, it inserts a cell below. Oops. Okay. There's more shortcuts. You can just type H, and it will tell you kind of a bunch of these things. So you can change things to. So there's run cell, select below, run cells, run selected, and Alt is run cell and insert below. And then there's a whole bunch of these things. But probably, the most common ones will be delete cell. And I'm sorry, Z is actually undo a cell deletion. That's the only, it's not undo everything. It's just undo the cell deletion. But that's usually when you want the undo most frequently. Okay. So you have all of these. In enter mode, you have other stuff for, you can insert indents and things like that, like this. So this is